Do I really need a firewall? I've been using the NOD32 security suite for some time now, and out of all the others that I've tried, it's great, low memory footprint, fast, fairly cheap. However, I've been installing a lot of software lately, and the thing that's been annoying me is having to allow each program access to the internet. Yes, I know it's a one-time thing, but I would rather not even have to do it in the first place. It's also a pain when I have to reformat/reinstall, thus, I am considering removing the firewall entirely, and just sticking to the antivirus. 1. So my question is not having a firewall unsafe, even with an antivirus? Obviously I'll never be 100% safe, not even an antivirus can completely protect me, and I realize that, but I don't do stupid things, I back up my data, etc. Does not having a firewall open up any dangerous vulnerabilities that an antivirus cannot cover? If I somehow get some malware on my hard drive, will not having a firewall keep me from being able to remove it? Or will it, for the most part, not make a difference? And if I do need a firewall, is the one that comes with Windows sufficient? Note that I'm not really interested in those 0.1% corner cases, I'm talking about the general majority of malware, and what implications not having a firewall may pose for me. Oh, and I'm using Windows, obviously. Smile. 1. I am definitely going to keep the antivirus just in case, mostly as a last resort. Please don't tell me that I don't need one.
Let's think outside the box for a moment. Sure, you can give in to the culture of fear and install all sorts of software on your computer to create an illusion of security. The security industry loves that. That's actually how their protection racket works, or you can play it really safe by sticking to a simple set of rules. Do not keep personal and/or sensitive data on a computer connected to the internet. Use encrypted external storage, pen drive, SDHC card, USB hard drive, etc., where applicable. If you have a home network to protect, use a virtual private network, VPN, connection as an additional layer of security. Use virtualization for all your internet activities. Disposable virtual machines are free, and so is Sandboxy. Destroy the virtual machine, or sandbox, immediately after each online banking session or financial transaction. Redeployment of a VHD backup is only a matter of seconds. Although this sounds a bit of an inconvenience, you certainly will not have to worry whether, enter the name of your favorite antivirus software, firewall, malware scanner and other popular time and resource wasters here, may have been protecting you sufficiently or not. Don't buy into their promises, think and take matters in your own hands.
Does not having a firewall open up any dangerous vulnerabilities that an antivirus cannot cover? Don't rely on software to keep you secure, because it won't. Today's antivirus software won't cover any likely infection scenario. It is almost completely helpless in the face of an overwhelming quantity of generally web exploit installed malware. A firewall serves two purposes. 1. Denying access to sensitive ports to incoming traffic. This function is unfortunately necessary because Windows cannot be configured to just close the damn ports, 139 to 145, 445 etc., in the first place. The built-in Windows firewall in XP and later is fine for this purpose. You'll also be okay if you're behind a NAT router and there's nothing else untrusted on your LAN. 2. Denying outgoing access to the network to particular applications. This is the egress filtering feature that the firewall vendors trumpet as being an essential feature that the Windows firewall lacks. However, I would strongly dispute its efficacy as a security measure. Once malware is installed on the local machine, you've already lost. It can, and indeed many do, disable the rules of popular firewall software to let itself out. Egress filtering can be a useful way to keep an eye on what otherwise trusted software is doing on the network, and it can often catch network access from a naive exploit downloader that doesn't attempt to circumvent firewall rules. But at that point, the only safe course of action would be, as always, to reinstall the OS, but essential for security? No, not really.
Dependent on your firewall, having one may help. If you have an inbound firewall only, it stops things from hitting your ports. If you have outbound firewalling as well, if a program resides on your machine, it can't go out without triggering an alarm. The Microsoft firewall is inbound only. The program you are using is in /out, that's why when the program tries to go out, you get a notification. I will note that if you have something smart enough get in, one of the first things it will do is disable your firewall and antivirus.
If you are not concerned about the damage that a rogue program could do on your computer with an unfettered internet connection, then just set your firewall options to grant all outbound traffic automatically. What is the harm, you ask? In the event that a rogue program does make it onto your system, it will most likely be an organized crime product that arrives behind a worm, a browser exploit, or many other vectors. It can then be used to add your computer to a botnet, serve up unsavory content, send your keylogged passwords and financial data back to the bad guys, serve as relay for targeted attacks, resulting in your computer getting confiscated as evidence. That annoying prompt may give you a chance to see it. Edit. Antivirus software will most likely help you avoid the above scenario. But the bad guys keep working. A year and a half ago, there was a vulnerability in a certain major security vendor's product, starts with S, which was exploited with a worm. If a firewall wasn't blocking that port, the host got infected. Although with a host-based firewall you most likely would have granted your Symantec antivirus all the network access it needed to do its thing, and been vulnerable anyway. It's up to you. Some people don't lock their doors when they are home. Some people put bars on the windows, etc. Evaluate the risk probability, the cost of the risk if it happens to you, and the cost and effectiveness of prevention. A host firewall isn't that much cost or trouble. In fact, slowing down the risky behavior of installing lots of stuff on your machine is a benefit. Remember how there used to be giant worm outbreaks like Code Red every few months? What finally put a stop to that is XBSB2 came out with Windows Firewall turned on by default. That should tell you something.